Divine greetings and gratitude, tribe. Welcome to the Saiyonan Archives. If you are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the poet, I am the seer, the poet, the writer, the witch, and the keeper of the archives. I'm also the founder of the Saiyonan Ethereum. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if you are returning, hey fam, hey tribe, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. Thank you so much for coming back into this space. Thank you so much for allowing me to give you this reading. For those of you that are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by and for listening to these messages. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. We are definitely growing slowly but surely. I wanted to let you know real quick, for those of you that are new here, you may have found me because of my tarot readings. I want you to keep in mind that this is not only a space where you can get tarot readings and whatnot. This is actually a space where we merge the arts of poetry and magic. Before I came out with, of course, being a witch and things like that, I actually was a poet and a writer. I've always, however, been a seer. So seer is the first term that I finally have come to accept. And things of that nature. And it's through my poetry, it's through my writing that I'm able to show you that I have the gift of seeing. Not only is it through tarot and astrology and other divinatory endeavors, I also, again, do write. I love writing. Writing is not a hobby for me. Writing is an essential and a non-negotiable aspect of my purpose and my calling. So although you may come here for the tarot readings, please keep your mind open for the fact that I will not only be doing tarot readings, I will also be doing talking head videos that go into writing essays and things like that. Thank you so much for understanding this. And I wanted to set the tone. I do pull certain things from the tarot readings and things like that I will use as writing, and I will use that as an anchor for writing points and talking points and things like that. So thank you so much for understanding that. I also want you to know too that there are items or essentials in the Ethereum that you can also add to your ritual that I have in my Ethereum. That is where you give a donation, a set donation based upon the offering that I give you, and then you use that to work your magic and things of that nature. I just wanted you to know that all links that you will need will be down below in the description box. Now, I wanted you to notice that when you first came here, you saw that there was already a card on the altar. The card that was on the altar was the High Priestess card here, and I want to give you a quick metaphor that came through earlier when I was taking care of my mundane hygiene things. So as I was taking care of these things, what ended up happening was I ended up getting this thought, which I find to be super divine, so divine. And this thought was someone asking someone for directions. Now, the interesting thing is that is what this reading is more than likely going to be about. And that's going to be our writing anchor. And in fact, I want us to be able to use this perhaps as a writing prompt for a journal session, or even for your own poetry, or even for your own whatever it may be. I know that this is what I'm going to anchor myself down to today, and then I'll share that piece with you on Substack. And I know that I am writing a book right now, so whatever messages come through during this season or during this time in my life, well, it's going to go into the book, and then I'll have something tangible for you to read and keep for yourself, okay? But it was this idea of, what direction am I headed? In this, not vision, but in this idea, right? In this thought, this metaphor, I kind of pictured someone asking for directions, and because they were lost, they were traveling, whatever, and someone ends up appearing, right? And so they ask this person, this soul, for directions. There's something that this person is saying, or the way that they're saying it, where the person just simply was not resonating with it. And so they appeared to look like, right? They appeared to have the directions. They appeared to know what they were talking about. But there was something that this person was saying or doing that made the other person feel deep within their spirit that they did not know what they were talking about, that if they were to take directions from them, that they would end up lost even further. And so instead of them taking the direction, they just said, okay, fine, whatever. And then they just kept going. Someone else comes along, and there's something about the way this person has presence. This person has structure, the way that they speak, the way that they carried themselves. It's like they really lived the experience, because they themselves too were lost in the same area and they learned. And so that's how they were able to help the other person navigate to get to their destination. And it was interesting because there was something about the second person, person number two, that again, it was the way they spoke, yes, but it was also their presence. There was something very real and very deeply resonant about person number two that gave a surety, reassurance to the person who was lost. And so after they received direction from person number two, they said about their journey, they went along their way, and in fact, they ended up in the destination. That to me was so profound because I feel like oftentimes people, when they feel lost and when they feel discouraged or when they're full of doubts, they end up taking direction from person number one. Person number one ends up being someone who projects a lot, who says, you shouldn't do this because if you do this, then this is what this, and that will happen. And if this happens, then it'll lead to this. But person number one does not know the difference between guiding the other person and making them lose themselves further and actually helping them. They don't know the difference. And the reason is because they're speaking from a selfish place. They're speaking from a place of fear. And they're only speaking from the experience of lack. They're only speaking from the experience of not having. They're only speaking from the experience of heartache and pain. But let's just say person number two comes along and says, listen, I know that you feel this, right? I know that you've experienced this, and I know that this is what you're going through. But do you think that perhaps there is something that you're meant to learn that can help you embody the higher version of yourself so that you can do what you need to do? You see how there's a difference between person number one giving you advice and person number two giving you advice? That's exactly the type of energy that I feel like someone may be in right now. Someone could be around you telling you that you should not do something because it'll keep you stuck. It'll keep you stagnant. It'll make you suffer and things of that nature if you don't do this, if you don't play it safe. And then person number two could say, I know that you feel lost right now, but you will eventually find your way if you trust and believe in yourself. If you trust and listen to your inner guide, that is exactly what's going to help you. I can give you the life experience. I can share with you the life experience that I have, right? But at the same time, ultimately, it's still up to you. And sometimes that is the most guidance that people need. And I feel that if people listen to person number two more often, or if they more deeply resonated with person number two, that if they applied that wisdom to their own life, there wouldn't be so many people that are lost. And there wouldn't be a need really to be lost because truly we'll see that we're not really lost. We're exactly where we need to be. Person number one may tell you, if you do this, you're going to get lost and you're going to be this and you're going to be that. And I've seen this happen and so did this. But what they're not realizing is that the universe is showing them where they're lost, but they're not seeing it as such. They're seeing it as that, no, this is the answer. And it's like, this is not the answer. This is the limitation. And you're allowing yourself to be limited by these things. The high priestess understands that it does not have to take direction from anyone. The high priestess understands that it takes direction from spirit first and foremost, and that anyone that's outside of it is only a reflection and a mirror as to what it already knows and what it already has. See, person number one was a reflection of someone who felt lost, and the universe was confirming that. It was affirming that. And then person number two showed up as the guide that you have within yourself. Because truly, we are here to be reflections to help you along your journey. That's what this is about. I'm a voice here on a YouTube channel here to remind you that you don't have to take direction from anyone if you so choose, and that you will know who you can take direction from. You will know, because the person that's there to truly guide you and help you is not going to be so realistic to the point to where they start to limit you. And they're not going to project their own faults or disappointments or fears onto you. They're going to say, I know that you feel afraid. And it's out of this fear that you can allow yourself to be open to spirit, to be open to the divine, to be open to your guides, to allow yourself to be guided, because we all need help. We all need help, because recently there's been this game of people. Oh, wow. It's so interesting that the 9 of Cups is coming up in here in reverse. And you also have here, wow, the 5 of Cups. Talk about disappointments. Exactly. Talk about disappointments. Precisely. You have the Five of Cups here and you have the Nine of Cups in reverse. See, the High Priestess says, listen, I know what I want. I know that this is what I want. And I know that my desires are fueled from a higher purpose or by a higher order. And I know this. I feel that this is truly what I want. And I feel that this is not what I want. And I don't want to allow myself to be guided by disappointment. The person number one showed up as a physical representation of the disappointment. Person number two showed up as a reminder that you don't have to be led by that. And I feel that where you are headed directly into your initiation. That is exactly where you're headed right now. And I got chills saying that. You are headed directly into your initiation. You are headed into a space in your life where you are about to start really trusting and divining and knowing and being the embodiment of your intuition. You are being headed down a path right now that's going to call for you to show just how much you don't know. You're headed into the mystery. You're headed into a space in your life where your intuition is going to guide you. It's going to lead you. And it's going to come, it may or may not come with fear. It may or may not, because not all things are known. You're headed into some kind of mystery. Eight of Cups, you're walking away from something for sure. Right? The Apprentice of Wands. And it's almost like this willingness that you have. Spirit is saying is that as long as you have the willingness, the way will show for you. The path will reveal itself to you. And the path is being revealed. And that's the beauty of it. Because as much as I want to say that you're headed down to get this job, you're headed down to get this apartment, like I can't tell you that because truly I don't know. Like this is YouTube. And so this is a very vast space. I don't know where you're headed, but I can tell you that where you're going is going to call for you to be strong and have conviction in your intuition. It's going to call for you to let go of everything you believe that you wanted. It's going to call for you to let go of everything you believe that you wanted. And it may not be the most comfortable thing. It may not be the most comfortable thing, but at the same time, Spirit is saying is that I don't want you to keep your heart on things that are comfortable. This is going to require you to step outside of your comfort zone, but if you allow your intuition to guide you, you will never be lost. You will never be lost. You will always be in alignment. Recently, we've been on this hook of oh wow, talk about discernment. You have the Queen of Swords here as well. But what was I saying? Yeah, so basically talking about the hook that we've been hooked on recently, or this saying that we've been hooked on, there's always another way. And I feel like you are finding the other way, but the other way looks like you allowing yourself to grieve all the disappointments, to grieve your old life, because you're becoming the embodiment of something. And I really just feel like you're becoming the embodiment of someone who just knows. You are becoming the embodiment of someone who just knows. You have the Tower card here coming up in reverse. That's showing itself. You have the Three of Swords. Exactly. Someone is moving away from some type of hurt. Exactly. You have the Three of Pentacles here as well. So what this is telling me and what I'm seeing, oh, okay. And you have the Two of Wands. Exactly. There's so much prophetic energy coming from this reading right now. And I feel like this is something where you're fulfilling some kind of prophecy. Like it feels like someone is fulfilling a prophecy here. And it really does feel like there's someone who is truly breaking away from what they believe they wanted. You could very well be going through a major career shift. You could be headed in the direction that's going to call for you to just let it go. And it's almost one of those things where I feel like I just heard the word crisis. Someone could have already gone through a crisis and now they're just like, divine, what do I do? Where do I go? This is a time in your life where things are starting to open up despite how closed it feels. The Fool card is not here, but wow, the World. Exactly. The World card is here. The Ace of Pentacles is here. You have the Strength card here as well. And you have the Eight of Pentacles. Like it's all working out. Like it's working out regardless. It's working out regardless. And I know that it may feel like it's not, but it is. But it is. I feel like with this is one of those things where you have to tell yourself that you don't have to feel limited by people's perceptions or the hurt and the pain anymore. In fact, you're moving away from that. You're headed in the direction where you are healing from the pain. And also, I want to be an advocate and tell you this. Life is not always about healing. You may spend the first 30 years of your life healing, the first 40 years of your life healing, because maybe you spent the first 20 or 30 years of your life in pain. And then the next 10 years is about the healing. And then the next years and beyond is about the enjoyment. Who knows what your timeline looks like? Because truly, it's not even about the timeline. It's just simply about the journey and the experience. Because somebody can heal 10 years worth of trauma and pain in a matter of 6 months, depending on how rigorous it is, depending on what they're willing to accept and when, right? And I'm going to throw myself out there into the fire real quick. When my husband died, right? And I'm not saying this to you to trauma bond, because one, I don't trauma bond with people. I will push you to your limits only when spirit calls for it, because y'all know by now, if you don't know me, you will find out very quickly. I am not only a daughter of Jupiter and Venus, I am a daughter of Saturn, and I will push you to your limit if I need to. And if I have divine permission to do that. I'm not here to dominate anybody, but you will learn that if you are here in this space, I'm not going to say things to you that are comfortable. I'm not going to say things to you that are going to pacify you. I'm going to tell you the truth and I'll hold your hand while I'll tell you the truth, but I'm not going to lie to you. Allow me to put myself in this situation for just a second, okay? Just to kind of give you that experience, okay? I'm going to show up as person number 2 right now. When my husband passed away, I felt like life was done. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to take care of these kids. I don't want to take care of these kids. I don't want to take care of anybody. I can barely take care of myself right now. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know why this is happening to me. I don't know why I felt like I had to lose my husband at 3 months postpartum. Why did this happen to me? What the hell is life? I don't understand what's going on here. I didn't know where life was going to take me because I was in grief. Because I felt lost and grief at that moment. And the grief for me looked like my husband passing, obviously, me not being able to grieve with the people that I wanted to grieve with because they felt that they had their own things going on, me wishing that I had certain people to show up for me when he passed, right? Me wishing that I had a certain figure in my life to go up there to the funeral home with me instead of me going by myself. Me wishing all of these things, because see, we can wish upon a star, but what if that's just simply not what we are meant to experience, because there's something else that we're meant to speak to, right? And I had to learn, either I'm going to sit here and mope around for the next however many years, 10 years of my life, or I'm going to allow myself to heal no matter how bad it gets. What am I going to do? I allowed people that were going to be there to be there. I allowed myself to scream it out. I allowed myself to be angry. I allowed myself to feel how I was feeling. I allowed myself to make mistakes because I knew that eventually my life was going to change, and I couldn't understand it. I didn't know. I allowed myself to go through that process. I allowed myself to do what I was going to do. But there was one thing that I did not share with a lot of people, and I'm sharing it with you now because I trust that I can share it with you because I'm trusting that somebody will understand. I knew that despite the nightmares that I was having at that time, I knew that despite what people may have thought, that I was going to eventually find love again. I don't know how soon it was going to come. I wasn't worried about the time frame. I just knew that I needed to do some healing because that was what the next part of my life was going to be about. It was going to be about love because I was not finished yet. It was going to be about love. It was going to be about growth. It was going to be about presence and embodiment. And I knew that for a fact. I didn't need to explain anything to anyone else because see, if I would have explained that to people, it would have been, you're moving on too fast, which people have told me that, but that's not what this is about. Why am I saying all this? Because I know what it is like to feel lost, especially when you're in pain. And I also know what it looks like to find your way again. If you allow yourself to open up to your guides, to spirit, because to be quite honest with you, there were other stories that I have that let me know that I was on the right track, that I was headed down the right direction. People were showing up and it felt familiar. I felt that I had been down this before. Deja vu moments with people that I've never met before in this life, right? I knew that when I got the astrology reading done by someone else, because I didn't want to do it for myself, I wanted to treat myself to something that I knew that when I got that reading, that something about that reading was right. And when she mentioned to me, to this day, I don't know if she watches my channel or not. I don't know if she knows how I'm doing or not. But if she sees this, shout out to her. When that woman told me that I would be moving sometime around September or August, when I tell you this woman was so spot on, tell me why I moved to Virginia that same year my husband passed. I moved to Virginia, right? And I knew because we set our intentions. And I'm not gonna go too deeply into that because I feel like now I'm deviating away from the reading. I don't want to deviate away from the reading. I'm super passionate. But why am I saying all this? I'm saying this because no matter what it looks like, no matter what happens in your life, there will always be guidance for you. Always. And if you allowed yourself to be limited by people's ideas, their thoughts, their fears, their wants, their desires, then you will keep being lost. And you'll just continue to be lost into the further. And you'll keep going on into the further. You'll keep going on into the sunken place. Whatever it may be, whatever it is, right? Whatever you resonate with, into the great beyond, right? But even then, the great beyond is full with so much wonder, but that's another conversation. This world card here is the great beyond. This world card here is the further. But in this instance, it's you allowing yourself to be guided in the further. You're allowing yourself to be guided. You're headed you're headed to the further. That's so beautiful. You're headed into the great beyond. But this great beyond looks like so much mystery and mastery. It looks like mystery and it feels like mastery because it is. Because it is. You're headed towards a space in your life where you're going to start being given more opportunities. And Spirit is saying to you, oh, I'm hearing someone's ancestors say, don't fuck this up. Oh, that's funny. Don't fuck this up. It's coming through that way because it feels like they're not like coming down on you, but they're saying you have trained your whole life for this since you were a child. And yes, I'm talking to you, right? I don't mean to point at you, but I'm being dramatic because of the camera. But no, seriously, when it comes to you, you've been doing this since you were a child, since you were young. You may not have understood it, but now that was the prophecy. Someone in your family knew that you were going to be doing this. They knew. And someone more than likely tried to stop you. There were energies and forces out there that were trying to stop you. Like, I'm not even joking around. Like, they could have made you, not believe in yourself. But see, they didn't realize that you are someone who had the spiritual strength of a million lions, like not even joking, of a million gorillas or whatever you want to call it. I'm being super dramatic. Capricorn energy, I could be a little dramatic. But seriously, I feel like they underestimated you, and you don't have to be underestimated. You don't have to let no one underestimate you, and you don't have to be the embodiment of their preconceived, misconceptions. You don't have to be that. You don't have to embody the underdog. And I feel like Spirit is saying is that you are not a dog. You are not an underdog and you are not a dog. Stop identifying with things that make you subservient and submissive or insubordinate to people. That's another thing here. And also, I feel like with this 8 of Pentacles coming out here, this means that it's all working out. This next area of your life is going to require work. It's going to require mastery, but you have to let yourself live it. You have to let yourself be it, tribe. I know it gets hard. And guess what? You don't even have to do it in a rigorous way. You can do this in the most graceful, softest way possible. In fact, some of you have already experienced the rigor. Now the test is, right? This next stage of your life is all about you embodying it in the most graceful way possible. Without force. With ambition, not aggression. That's what's coming through. With ambition, not aggression. With love and laughter, not survival. You will have moments where you will feel like this shit is hard. And you know what? Sometimes life is hard. But guess what? We will always be guided. Spirit, is there anything else that you want to say with this card? The Lovers. Love it for you, for sure. You have the Lovers here. The lovers here showing up as well. Yeah, the lovers here showing up as, what are you choosing? What are you choosing? And why? The choices you make. The choices you make. I feel truly like you're headed out and you're moving away from the disappointment. You're moving away from all things that just are no. I know that we often say things like, oh, well, it's no longer serving you. Okay, that's cute. But for real, I know that it's no longer serving me. And that's the reason why I'm no longer choosing it. And also, I'm not pretending. I'm not being a pretendian here. I'm not going to sit up here and be someone who makes it appear that I have it all together. No, I'm going to admit the fact that I need help, because that is vulnerability. And although the star card is not here, I feel the star card's energy. I'm vulnerable. I feel like I want help. I feel like I need guidance, and I'm open to that. Exactly. Look at that. Interesting. The first card to come out here was this, and I'm going to make sure to link these cards down below. I'm not underestimating. That's so interesting because we talked about underestimation. My own magic anymore. I'm not underestimating my own magic anymore. Magic, power, beginnings, and transformation. Exactly. And look at this. It's like you're embracing. You're open and embracing. Exactly. You are open and embracing. And I feel like that's exactly the type of energy that spirit wants to have you on, because you are no longer underestimating yourself because other people underestimated you. Do you see what I mean? It's like you don't have to continue to listen or to submit to those ideologies, because if you continue to do that, you will always feel lack and disappointment and hurt and pain. And the biggest regret that you could ever have is going against yourself. And maybe you don't have any regrets because you feel like, well, this is all a lesson for me. Kudos to you. For some people, they feel that they regret not listening to themselves, especially people who are older. They say that if I can go back in life, I would have done this, and that differently. I can never get those years back. And so if I can save someone else by actually letting them know that they are okay with believing themselves, spending more time with family and friends, making memories, if I could have spent more time doing that, I would have known that I would have had a more fulfilled life, because work and work and work for someone else was not the life that I should have lived. And yet I lived it, not listening to myself, feeling like I had to forsake the people that I love the most for a job, because the mission was just so much better or so much greater, or I had a mission and I couldn't do this. And it's like, you know what? That may be fine and that may be true for some people, but what is this for if you're not doing it out of love and devotion? And for some people, it's going to hit different. Well, you know what? The mission is greater. I got to free the people. Let's be real. Sometimes people do things like that, but they're responding from a space of ego, and you can tell. And that's why you must have discernment. Spirit is saying to you, don't be that person. Don't be that person. Check your ego every time, because guess what? There are ways around it. People, where's that card? 3 of Pentacles. People can help you. You can have a team of people to help you with your mission and your journey, and still have time for love, romance, if that's what you believe in. If that is what you believe in. Alignment, if that is what you believe in. You don't have to believe in that. You don't. But I'm here to tell you that that's what's coming through. And I'm not going to lie to you. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Trust in the places you feel guided towards. Space, time, and self. Infinity, reincarnation, 5D. Oh my God, you guys. This reading is everything. I love this for you so much. I love this for you so much. Oh my God. I love this so much. And it's so interesting because the thing, like, look at these doors you have. Look at the doors. Look at the openness. You see that door right there? Like that doorway? And then look at the world card here. You have another, right? And then what is this? Like an open field, an open space. Exactly. Exactly. Embrace it. Just embrace it. Don't be afraid to walk away from anything that you know is leading you down the wrong direction. If you know you should not go into that snake pit, don't go into the snake pit. It's that simple. Oh my goodness. It's time to leave the old behind, rebirth, shedding the chrysalis, taking risks. Exactly. It's so interesting that the Fool card is not here, but the reason why it's not here is because you have the World card. And the World card is all about you learning and you knowing that you have the experience, and now it's time for you to set off on the next venture. So you are absolutely headed down another path. You are continuing the path. The prophecy is unfolding. They knew you were going to make it. That's why they were trying so hard to get you not to. They knew you was the one. They do. And they know. That's why they fight so hard. You see these energies that want to be relevant, and they want you to be where they're at because they're afraid of being left behind, because they're not dealing with the trauma of abandonment, right? So I feel like with you, you have to remember that you don't have to allow yourself to be in that situation. Always do what you know to be true and what you know to be right, and always have integrity. No matter what you are doing, I want you to have integrity. I want you to be you when the cameras are off, and I want you to be you when the cameras are on. That's what I want you to do, okay? And I love you enough to say that. I love you enough to tell you that, okay? Thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I really do truly hope that it helps someone. And I hope that you feel the love and the passion in this reading, because truly, I feel so deeply passionate about helping you, about serving you, about being of service to you, about offering you divine wisdom that I have and whatever else that I can give to help you along your journey. Okay? I will not tell you anything from a space of lack, from a space of non-belief, from a space of me not experiencing something. Unless it is an intuitive message that I absolutely do not relate to, I will still give you that intuitive message, because that happens a lot, of course, right? There are things that I don't know that I will tell you, but that's because it's a channel. There's a difference between me speaking from there's a difference between a person speaking from a space of lack and non-relation and speaking from a space of a channel, right? So these things that come to me will be channels. And sometimes, like what happened in this video, it will be speaking from a space of experience when I'm guided to, okay? So thank you so much for tuning in and for listening to this message. If you need anything from me, please feel free to visit me online over at the SaiyonanPath.org. I also did have to change up a few things about Instagram and also with YouTube. So my videos will now pop up and you'll see them as from at Nuna Sees. It's because that's exactly what the divine guided me to do. It's staying like that. I am not changing it. We are going to leave it. I know that I'm finding my way. Pluto transiting my 10th house for like the next 20 years. Things are changing around for me, and I'm allowing myself to go down that direction. I'm allowing things to unfold. So yes, at Nuna Sees. And also I'll make sure to leave any links of things that you may need down in the description box, as well as in the comment section. Give this video a like. Send it to someone who you know can benefit from it. Send it to yourself. Save it. And come back to it whenever you need to. Rewind it if you need to. And yes, I love you. Take care. And I will catch you in my next video.